The faint glow of dawn seeped through the frosted window of the observation module, casting long shadows across the cramped quarters. Sam Bright knelt on the floor, carefully brushing tangles out of Chewie's thick golden coat. The golden doodle wagged his tail lazily, the soft thump-thump against the floor breaking the silence of the Antarctic morning. Hold still, you goof. You want to look your best for our walk later today, don't you? Chewie tilted his head at the word walk, his brown eyes wide with the unmistakable spark of excitement. Sam laughed, a rare sound in the stillness of Murd Base. It was one of the many reasons she loved him. Chewie didn't care where they were or why they were here. All he cared about was being with her. As she worked, her mind drifted to the life she'd left behind. She'd heard the whispers from the team when she first arrived. A 22-year-old intern in one of the harshest environments on Earth. A little too sharp. A little too guarded. Most people came to Antarctica chasing science, adventure, or glory. What they didn't know is that Sam had come for the silence. Guess it's just you and me, huh, Chewie? Maybe it always has been. Chewie gave a low groan of agreement, nudging her hand with his nose. It was the strangest sound. He sounded just like a Wookiee, hence his name. Sam grinned, scratching behind his ears in the spot that always made his tail wag like a metronome. The base's heating system clicked on, humming faintly as warm air filled the room. Sam glanced at the clock. The rest of the team would be stirring soon, and she'd need to prep for the drone expedition. But for now, this moment was hers. She pulled Chewie closer, resting her forehead against his as his warm breath puffed against her cheek. You don't judge, do you? Doesn't matter what they say or what I've done. You just love me. Chewie licked her face, his tongue catching the corner of her mouth, and she laughed, wiping it away with her sleeve. It was messy and ridiculous and exactly what she needed to start the day. Standing, Sam grabbed Chewie's leash and clipped it onto his collar. The leash was more symbolic than practical. There wasn't much danger of him running off in the middle of the Antarctic wilderness. But the ritual grounded her, a small reminder of normalcy in a place where nothing else was normal. As they stepped out into the cold, the wind whipped against Sam's face, tugging at the strands of hair that escaped her wool cap. Chewie bounded ahead, his golden fur a striking contrast against the endless white. Sam watched him with a mix of pride and melancholy. She didn't talk much about the life she'd left behind. There was no point. The past was like the snow underfoot. Cold, unyielding, and better left undisturbed. But Chewie knew. He'd been there for the worst of it. The fights, the loneliness, the reckless decisions that had nearly cost her everything. And when she'd packed up and left it all behind, he'd come with her, his wagging tail a silent promise of better days ahead. Chewie, don't go too far. The dog stopped, looking back at her with a playful bark before bounding back, snow spraying from his booted paws. She knelt to meet him, wrapping her arms around his neck and burying her face in his fur. For a moment, the cold didn't matter. The past didn't matter. Out here at the edge of the world, it was just her and Chewie. And for now, that was enough. The muted din of the base accompanied the crunch of her footsteps on dry snow as she made her way to the observation module. Chewie padded beside her, his tiny paw boots making their own unique sound. The contrast between her private morning routine and the sterile efficiency of the lab ahead struck her, as it always did. There was something exhilarating about the discipline and purpose of life out here that drew her. For once, Sam felt like she belonged in a place. Murd wasn't much to look at. Just a handful of prefabricated modules arranged in a loose U-shape, their exteriors battered by years of Antarctic extremes. A single powerful antenna array jutted skyward, swaying slightly in the wind. When they reached the observation module, doctoral candidate Asha Verma was already at the console, her dark hair pulled back into a tidy ponytail, her focus on the monitors. She glanced up briefly as Sam entered, her sharp features softening into a faint smile. Morning, Bright. Late start? Sam unclipped Chewie's leash, letting him settle into his usual spot near her feet. Not late, just thorough. Had to make sure the real MVP of this operation was ready for duty. She gestured at Chewie, who wagged his tail lazily. Sam grinned as she slid into her seat, her fingers already reaching for the controls. Their comfortable banter carried them into the rhythm of the day's work. Sam adjusted the drone's flight path on the monitor, the screen flickering as the system began its sweep of Grid 117B. Chewie stretched out at her feet, content to nap through the technical jargon.